A Christian student group is doing the Lord's work in exposing quote-unquote Christian schools' ties with Planned Parenthood. Yet another university cancels their mascot, but only to deny that they didn't really cancel him. And in our top story of the week, Tulane, boy oh boy, they got a good one. The one and only Hunter Biden is going to be teaching a political science course about, get this, fake news. I hope he got permission from Ukraine to do this. I'm Addison Smith, and this is the Campus Countdown. Welcome back to the Campus Countdown. We've gotten so much positive feedback from you guys who are watching this, so thank you so much, and we're doing our best to try to up the ante around here. So we're upping the quality. We're going to try to make these as good and professional as we can for you guys going forward. So thanks again for watching. Let's get to the stories. In our number 3 story of the week, I, as a Bible-believing Christian, am a big fan of the Students for Life organization, and this seems to be another big victory for the pro-life movement. Students for Life recently exposed supposedly Christian universities with ties to Planned Parenthood. Campus Reform has the report, quote, Students for Life of America, a pro-life organization that aims to recruit, train, and mobilize the pro-life generation to abolish abortion, recently released a list of Christian universities with ties to Planned Parenthood. The group announced in a press release that they investigated over 700 colleges and universities, 100 of which had ties with Planned Parenthood. According to the release, the 100 schools are related to Planned Parenthood through advertising Planned Parenthood internships and career postings, referring students to Planned Parenthood as a resource, incorporating Planned Parenthood into medical school rotations, or hosting events for students with the abortion giant. Students for Life found that 25 universities have extremely friendly ties with Planned Parenthood. Some even list Planned Parenthood as a trusted resource on their website. After conducting its investigation, Students for Life sent formal letters to the schools with ties to Planned Parenthood, urging them to kick the abortion giant to the curb. Since the letters were received, a handful of universities have cut ties with Planned Parenthood. Awesome news. Students for Life call these, quote, Christian school victories and document these schools on the map with purple rather than red flags. The site gives many examples such as Lubbock Christian University, a school affiliated with the Church of Christ in Texas, agreed to remove Planned Parenthood from their website as a resource to students. Bravo to Students for Life. This is awesome stuff. Abortion is already the worst thing plaguing our country. But the fact that there are Christian schools, calling themselves Christian anyways, who are in bed with the abortion industry just completely adds insult to injury. And me as a Christian, I know that to murder is to attack the image of God himself, and to murder children on top of that is to attack God's most innocent. Jeremiah, the book of Jeremiah says that God knows these children before he even formed them in the womb. So if you ask me, it's high time that we hold these Christian schools, quote unquote, feet to the fire, and the rest of this country for that matter. Well, cancel culture is alive and well on campus, as we've seen time and time again. Campus Reform has reported on countless stories of students demanding schools change their name, remove certain statues, or change their mascot, things like that. But this story has a little humorous twist. Evangel University recently canceled their Crusader mascot, getting rid of it after over 50 years. But according to Evangel's interim president, George Wood, this has nothing to do with cancel culture, you see. See, they aren't canceling their mascot, right? That's ridiculous. They're just saying that, quote, the world has changed significantly since the 1950s when the Evangel community, intending to depict strength, honor, and commitment to the faith, first identified a Crusader as the school's mascot. So today, we recognize that the Crusader often inhibits the ability of students and alumni to proudly represent the university in areas of global work and ministry. That's coming from George Wood, the interim president. See, George wants to make it abundantly clear. Hold on. We aren't canceling anything. All we're saying is that the mascot is offensive and shameful, and so we have to get rid of it. That's all. What's the big deal? That's not cancel culture. It's worth mentioning, by the way, that this is precisely how those who indulge in cancel culture think. It's not about canceling for them. It's about accountability. You hear this all the time. It's the right thing to do. But the question is, accountability for what and to whom? When the left, for example, cancels Mr. Potato Head, where's the moral victory? What revolutionary change has occurred? Who are they holding accountable? And when they cancel someone for a minorly objectionable tweet from like 20 million years ago, at a time where, by the way, these same people who are canceling them had no issue with what was said? Is that really about accountability? Or is it about scoring woke points and destroying people's lives? See, it's never been about doing the right thing. It's always been about political theatrics and ideological slander. It doesn't allow for growth. It doesn't allow for apology. If the mob has their gaze set on you, no amount of virtue signaling, no number of apology tours will quench their thirst. You see conservatives when they get canceled, or even liberals when they get canceled, all the time. They send out all these tweets, oh, I'm so sorry, it was so deeply wrong, please forgive me. Doesn't work. It doesn't work because they're not actually offended. They just want revenge, they want to destroy your life, and they want to seem virtuous. In our top story of the week, in our first pick in the college lecture draft, Tulane University selects, drumroll please, Hunter Biden. That's right, Hunter Biden will be serving as a guest speaker for Tulane's political science course to discuss media polarization and fake news. I see. Well, I gotta say, that is a very interesting selection considering the Hunter laptop scandal was heavily suppressed ahead of the 2020 election. You might remember when the New York Post was locked out of their Twitter account for a completely factual expose of Hunter and the fact that he had introduced a Ukrainian executive to his father. Come to think of it, did the mainstream media have much or anything to say over his business dealings in China and Ukraine? I mean, we saw the text messages, the ones that showed that even Joe Biden seemed to be involved with helping his son get jobs that he clearly wasn't qualified for. And Hunter was obviously using his dad's power to his advantage. That's very clear. So needless to say, a lot of shady stuff going on that the news didn't want to talk about, but now he's going to be the one lecturing about journalistic integrity. Maybe he's finally coming clean and is going to talk about the fake news that's been doing his dirty work for both him and his dad. We'll see. I will say though, quick side note, I do hope the auditorium that he's lecturing in isn't made of carpet for obvious reasons. We won't go into it. Let's get to our woke tweet of the week. Woke is one way to describe this week's tweet, but I think disgusting and shameful might be a better description. Jason Nichols, a senior lecturer of African American Studies at the University of Maryland, tweeted this last night after Senator Tim Scott's speech. Quote, Tim Scott is a clown and his ancestors are ashamed of him. Senator Scott has been in the news quite a bit lately for standing up to the left's idiotic narrative that America is systemically racist. Scott has said that his family went from cotton to Congress in a lifetime. That's a pretty empowering message for Black Americans. But see, leftists don't like that narrative. They hate when people insist that Black people can take charge of their lives, work hard, and succeed. So Nichols tweeted this after Scott's response to Biden's pretty sleepy, quite frankly, address to Congress, and he swiftly took it down and then issued this apology. Quote, I apologize for the ad hominem attack against Senator Scott. But his speech was nothing but platitudes and tired talking points. Wait a minute. Empty platitudes, tired talking points? Did Nichols even watch Biden's speech? Anyways, he continues, I want to make it clear that I should not have called him a clown, but it's frustrating that he gave that response. It felt like an extension of, quote, woke supremacy commentary. See, Nichols is very upset that Scott wants to empower Black Americans. He's furious that Scott won't rail on his country as deeply racist and terrible. This is far from the first time leftists have bashed Black conservatives. You might remember when a California congressional candidate tweeted a KKK hood at Candace Owens. You hear it all the time, leftists calling Black conservatives Uncle Tom, race traitors, things like that. See, the left wants Black people to feel oppressed. That's the thing. They want them to feel oppressed so that they can run to leftist politicians as their savior, and that's how these politicians keep getting reelected. If anyone, Black or white, tries to tell Black people that they can achieve their dreams and chase their goals, you can be sure as the day is long that the woke liberals will pounce on in and demand conservatives shut their mouth. How dare anyone insist that Black people can make it in America, which, by the way, is the best place in the world to live in if you're Black, white, or any other minority. How dare you cite the fact that Black people in America today are better off than anywhere else on earth? Maybe AOC put it best. We got to stop using these statistics and studies. Come on, man. Maybe Biden put it best. We need to take truth over facts. Who needs those facts anyways, those boring things? That will conclude this week's episode of the Campus Countdown. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. And if you're not already, make sure you're following us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Campus Reform. Thanks again. We'll see you next week. My name is Addison Smith, and I'm with Campus Reform. Thanks so much for watching, and it really helps if you like and leave a comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe right here so you can stay up to date on all of our content. If you want to help us to continue to make these videos, please donate to the link here. And lastly, if you want to get hooked up with some of our swag, click here.